Welcome everyone to another video on the Parsha, on Parshas Ki Tisa. This week I would like to speak not about the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf, nor about Shabbos. There's a few very good subjects to speak about, but what I would like to speak about is after the sin of the golden calf, Hashem speaking to Moshe and telling him how Hashem's going to lead them going forward, and then Moshe's pleading with Hashem, and what comes out with that. Now I'm going to start with my explanation. When we get to Moshe pleading with Hashem, I'm going to start with my explanation just to see how you can understand it if you wouldn't go in depth, so you'll see afterwards how much meaning there is to it when I explain it based on the Malbim later on. But first, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe and help us grow this channel. So let's get started. So after the golden calf, after the sin of the golden calf, Hashem spoke to Moshe and said, Lech alem mizeh, go up from here, you and this nation that I brought out from the land of Egypt to the land that I swore to their fathers to give to them, to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, saying, to your offspring I will give them. And I'll send before you a malach, and I'll chase away the Knaani and the Amori, the Hittite, the Perizzite, and the Yevusi to the land of milk and honey, because I will not go up amongst you, because you're a nation with a stiff neck. A stiff nation. Perhaps I will destroy you on the way. So the nation heard this and they mourned about this. Now, just as an introduction, Moshe's prophecy, Moshe's nevuah, there's two parts of Moshe's nevuah. There's his preparation. Hashem chose him. Of course, when Hashem chooses someone, it doesn't mean they can't do a mistake. We see Moshe Rabbeinu, he almost got killed because he didn't do bris milah, he didn't circumcise his son when he was going back to Egypt. But it doesn't mean Hashem didn't choose him. Hashem chose him when he was young to be a navi to Hashem, to be a prophet, and to lead Bnei Israel. And that's the natural choosing that Hashem chose him. He gave him the traits for that and everything. And he grew up in a way that slowly would form him into that leader. Like everything that happened, we mentioned in a different video, that everything that happened to him basically formed him into a leader. The strength that he got from being in the house of Paro, but on the other hand, not forgetting his people, and therefore he grew when he was young. He grew up by his parents instead of by Paro for that reason. Then afterwards, the exile that he had himself, and so on. So now the first level of the prophecy that Moshe had was not face to face; it was through a malach by the burning bush. Then later on, not too much later, he already got to a higher level of prophecy, and this was because he was designated for the task of redeeming the Jewish people, and that task already, Hashem, he had the merit to get a higher level of prophecy, and this was only because of Bnei Israel. Only because of Bnei Israel, because of the Jewish nation, therefore that he got to speak to Hashem face to face. That was his level of prophecy, Moshe's level of prophecy, which didn't come naturally. That's what's important to understand, is it wasn't the natural prophecy that he had. The natural prophecy was like all prophets was not face to face, it was through a malach, and you can't have a natural prophecy of face to face. It only came from the merit of Bnei Israel, because this was when the nation was going to be molded and created, so therefore Hashem gave Moshe such a high level of prophecy. Now that we see in Parshas Va'era. Va'era l'Avram Yitzchak ve'Yaakov be'el Shaddai. I appeared to Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov in Kel Shakai, and my name Hashem I didn't appear to them in, meaning basically Moshe was a higher level of nevuah of all the rest of them, of all the rest of the prophets. Now we had at the end of Parshas Mishpatim, Hashem said, I'm going to send my malach before you. We explained over there, and the Mefarshim explained, the way I understand the Ramban and the Malbim, the best explanation is they were happy about that, and that's clear. That's what Hashem was saying it for their praise, meaning a good thing. I'm going to send in front of you my angel, and it will chase away these enemies. Be careful not to disobey it, because my name is amongst it. Now over here, Hashem says the opposite. I'm going to send a malach before you, because I will not go up amongst you, meaning my name is not in him. So, and we explained that it's two different types of malachim, and therefore they mourned over here and over there. They didn't mourn because that was the malach, which is basically the representation of Hashem, which is basically Hashem, because Hashem never does anything through without a malach at all. But the malach that represents Hashem in a certain way, whatever the malach means over here. But the Ramban calls this malach the malach hagoel, the malach that redeemed Yaakov Avinu. But anyhow, it's a malach. It's not through nature. It's Hashem's representation, and it gets meaning it will say Hashem or it will say the malach. It's representing Hashem, so therefore it's like the highest level you could get, a representation of Hashem amongst you, and therefore you'll see all these miracles and nisim that happened to Bnei Israel. But now Hashem said that's all gone, and I'm going to send a malach that's basically going to take care of you, so I won't take care of you. So the malach will take care of you and bring you to Eretz Yisrael. And the way the Malbim seems to be explaining is over here, basically, go up to Eretz Yisrael, meaning forget about the Mishkan that I wanted you to build over here in the desert before you go to Eretz Yisrael, the Shechina. Don't do that. And it appears that Hashem decided that the whole concept, the whole idea of Hashem having His presence amongst Bnei Israel, it was going to be nullified. That wasn't going to exist. And the covenant with Hashem and Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov with Bnei Israel was the only thing that is going to be left, and therefore he was going to bring them up to Eretz Yisrael, but not he himself, because he's not going to rest his presence amongst Bnei Israel. Or maybe in a future generation he would, but not, basically it was nullified. After the Chet Egel, Hashem wanted to nullify this whole concept that he was going to use Bnei Israel to bring his Shechina, for his presence to be amongst Bnei Israel in the Mishkan, and therefore he said straight away, go up to Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to bring a malach, a messenger. And Moshe, of course, really didn't like this, and he got his way at the end of the day. Moshe did, but we're going to see how this works out. It's very interesting. But anyhow, like I said, Moshe's nevuah, the natural nevuah prophecy was not a face-to-face by Moshe Rabbeinu. It was through a malach. But because of the merit of Bnei Israel, he got the nevuah, the prophecy of face-to-face. Now, that Bnei Israel sinned, Moshe thought or was worried, he wasn't sure if he was going to continue speaking to Hashem face-to-face. He did in the Oel Moed, but he wasn't sure if he was going to continue after Hashem told him this thing, told him to go up to Eretz Yisrael, and that he's not going to go amongst them. So Moshe starts off like this, and I'm going to give my explanation, like I said, and then afterwards we're going to try understanding the Malbim on this. So Vayomer Moshe el Adonai re'eh ata omer elai ha'alas hamazeh v'ata lo edatanei asher tishlachimi. Moshe said, I'm going to explain my explanation first. Moshe said, Re'eh, you told me earlier on, ha'alas ha'amazeh, take up this nation, bring up this nation, v'ata lo edatanei asher tishlachimi. And then you didn't say who's going to go with me. V'ata amarti yadaticha b'shem, but you said, I know you by name, meaning I speak to you face by face. Yadaticha b'shem, I know you by name. V'gam imtzasichem beinech, and I found favor in your eyes. So, meaning Moshe Rabbeinu was complaining and saying, you didn't tell me that you're going to send a malach. You said you didn't tell me who you're going to send, but you didn't tell me you're going to send a malach, and you told me that you know me by name and you found favor in my eyes, and if so, it would appear that you wouldn't send a malach to Bnei Israel. Rather, you would go up amongst Bnei Israel yourself. You would take Bnei Israel to Eretz Yisrael and have a full presence of the presence of Hashem within Bnei Israel, and have with us a great level of connection. So that's all I wanted to explain. Now we're going to explain it all based on the Malbim. Very interesting. So Moshe said to Hashem, Moshe said to Hashem, behold, you just tell me right now, take up this nation. You take up this nation. And Hashem, Moshe says to Hashem, you said you're going to send a malach anymore. But you didn't say who you're going to send with me. Meaning, you didn't say if you're going to continue speaking to me face to face or you're going to stop, because now you're saying because Bnei Israel sin, you're not going to dwell amongst Bnei Israel anymore. But you didn't say what's going to be with me. Are you going to speak to me face to face or are you going to stop doing that also? And you said, I know you by name, and also I found favor in your eyes. Now, I know you by name means, it's like by Yirmiyahu, it says, Hashem told Yirmiyahu that before you were born created in the womb, I knew you, meaning Hashem planned Yirmiyahu to be a Navi for Hashem before he was born, before he was even conceived. The same way with Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem planned Moshe Rabbeinu to be the redeemer of Bnei Israel and gave him and planned him to be a Navi, and therefore he had the natural capabilities of being, like we said, a prophet, but not the natural capabilities don't go to the level of seeing Hashem face to face. But you also said, I found favor in your eyes. Now, finding favor in your eyes means face to face, because that means that's nothing to do with my natural capabilities, but Moshe's natural capabilities. It's Hashem's decision over here, and because Hashem found favor in his eyes, he's willing to give him prophecy, to speak to him face to face. And therefore I'm confused, Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, because finding favor in your eyes could change. Sometimes someone likes someone, sometimes someone doesn't like someone. So maybe at a certain point, if Moshe could find favor in Hashem's eyes, and so maybe at a different point he won't find favor anymore in his eyes. So therefore, I don't know. Are you going to continue speaking to me in this high level of prophecy, face to face? Are you going to continue speaking to me face to face or not? So therefore, if I find favor in your eyes, so if you find favor in my eyes, show me your ways. Meaning, it's very interesting. It's like, if you find favor in my eyes now, show me your ways, so I will know you, so I will be able to find favor in your eyes. So what does that mean? If you find favor in my eyes, then teach me your ways so I could find favor in your eyes. It seems like, is he finding favor in the eyes of Hashem or not? So it's interesting how the Malbim explains it over here. So therefore I asked, do something for me that will cause me to have a consistently always find favor in your eyes. Teach me your ways. Teach me the ways you run the world, and your midos, your attributes, and all the wisdom of basically the godly wisdom. So I will go in your path, right? So I'll go in your path, and therefore I will continuously find favor in your eyes, and that way I'll always be able to speak to you with a high level of prophecy. I'll have that merit, the level of prophecy, of face to face, even without Bnei Israel, because until now it was without Bnei Israel. It was because of Bnei Israel, the merit of Bnei Israel. Hashem found favor in Moshe's eyes because of Bnei Israel. But now I want you to be able to find favor in my eyes even without the merit of Bnei Israel, and teach me your way so I could find favor in your eyes without the merit of Bnei Israel, and that it won't be one thing or something that could change. It will be something continuously. And Moshe says, don't take me down to a level of speaking to you through a malach because of their sin. Because see that they are your nation, meaning right beforehand it speaks about how they bowed down and they saw the presence of Hashem over the tent that Moshe was speaking to Hashem. They bowed down and they gave honor and everything. In other words, they weren't straying away from Hashem to serve Avodah Zarah. The sin of the golden calf wasn't like they chose a golden calf over Hashem. Well, it was a completely different thing, which we don't want to go into right now, but the Ramban and the Malbim explain it really well. But you see, they are your nation, so they did a mistake over here. It wasn't clear. It wasn't changing you for Avodah Zarah. It wasn't going to Avodah Zarah, but they did a mistake, whatever it was. But you see, they are your nation, the end of the day, and therefore it's not such a level of sin that because of their sin you should take me away from this great level of prophecy. Vayomer, so Hashem said, Panay Elechu v'ani chosi lach. Now I thought simply, Panay Elechu, my face, Panay a lot of times means anger. My anger will go, v'ani chosi lach. And I heard maybe there's explanations like that, but the Malbim explains much better. Panay Elechu v'ani chosi lach. I will go with you. My face will go with you, Moshe Rabbeinu, not with them. Meaning, my face will go, v'hani chosi lach, and I will go myself with you. Meaning, my face is like speaking face to face. It's representation of Hashem. Meaning, with Moshe, I will go with you. My presence will go with you. But he didn't say with the nation. With the nation, I'm going to send a malach, a messenger. But I will go. I will go with you, and I'll continue speaking to you face to face. That's what Hashem says. In other words, yes, I agree. Hashem said to Moshe, I agree. Their sins weren't so great that for that reason I'm going to stop finding favor in your eyes and take you away from that great level of nevuah that you have. No, I'm going to continue giving that great. You're going to continue have a connection with me, a great connection and a great level of prophecy. So Moshe Rabbeinu didn't stop over there. He continued and said, "Vayomer elav imein panecha halchim al talenu mizeh." He said, if your face isn't going with us, with Bnei Yisrael, with the nation of Yisrael, al talenu mizeh, do not bring us up from here. Uvamai, meaning, it's good that you. I'm happy that you're going to have a connection with me face to face. But if Bnei Yisrael if Bnei Yisrael go to Eretz Yisrael, and they don't have the Hashem's presence amongst them, rather just a malach, so therefore it's not going to be all these miracles, unnatural miracles. It's not going to be. Bnei Yisrael aren't going to be picked up with a flag. It's not going to be like a flag to the nations to see. Oh, this is the special nation of Hashem and all of that, and therefore there's going to be a disgrace to Hashem's name. And what will Egypt do? What will Egypt say? Basically, this nation that Hashem chose. If you're not going to come with us yourself, don't bring us up from here. How will it be known? How will it be known that I found favor in your eyes, me and my nation, Bnei Yisrael, me and your nation. By us becoming plea, meaning miracles and signs and great wonders, from all the other nations on the ground. In other words, the way that it will be known to the world that Bnei Yisrael, your presence in the world and Hashem's nation, that you chose Bnei Yisrael, and all of that is only by you going with Bnei Yisrael, not by you sending a malach before them. And therefore, please go yourself. Go yourself, not only with me, but also with Bnei Yisrael. Vayomer Adonai Moshe gamas hadavar hazeh asher dibarta eseh ki matzazi chen beinecha vayidach b'shem. And Hashem said to Moshe, also this thing I will do, but not for Bnei Yisrael anymore, but because I found favor in your eyes and I know you by name. So therefore, I'm going to be willing for you to even take Bnei Yisrael and go with Bnei Yisrael myself and not send a malach. Okay, that's basically it for today. But we could see over here how, like, even in low levels of Bnei Yisrael, sometimes you see how much Moshe Rabbeinu got, and we'll see. And later on in the parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu asks for more, and he gets a lot. He learns a lot. He gets a lot of knowledge from Hashem, and gets even higher levels of prophecy. It would seem he's going to get over here right after the sin of the golden calf. The advantage that he took, he saved all Bnei Yisrael, that Hashem basically brought them back to where they were beforehand, and therefore right after Parshas Ki Tisa, we see basically that Hashem commands Bnei Yisrael again, Parshas Vayakal, to build the Mishkan, because they went back to as they were before. They were after the sin of the golden calf. They were not going to be able to build the Mishkan. It was all gone. But now suddenly they're going to build the Mishkan again. It all came back because of the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu. But we see sometimes after someone does a mistake, which you'd think that's the time that actually things go bad, which you see they went bad for Bnei Israel, and you see in a certain level, the Chazal say that every time that something happens to Bnei Israel, there's a little bit of getting back for the sin of the golden calf over there. There is, of course, there's mistakes that you do that they give you that are terrible, and you don't really get ever totally rid of them, and they always, haunt you. But the things that we got out of it, Bnei Israel got back to the way they were before, and perhaps you could say even on a greater level, because you see Hashem basically showed Bnei Israel over there that even in a situation where they sinned, He's still with them, and He's still going to take care of them. And Moshe Rabbeinu certainly took advantage and got on a higher level. So that's very interesting to see, and just a little bit of a encouragement for people that did mistakes in life and and are working on changing their ways and all of that. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed this video again, and please like, share, subscribe, and all of that. Comment if you have anything interesting to say. Thank you very much, and have a good Shabbos, everyone.